Hey people, good morning. Positive Paul. All praise and glory to the Most High. And here we find ourselves on Thursday, May 14th, 2026. And this will be, I guess, comments from the peanut gallery. Um, as most of you know, I haven't been motivated to do videos as of recently. And strangely enough, all the bizarre activity that occurs around me, aka the stalking, the harassment, the UAPs, the UFOs, goes on a daily basis. Sometimes it's, you don't know exactly where the workers of iniquity are hanging out, but they're always around. And they always seem to be on call. There seems to be always someone waiting around that can respond to that text, that phone call, get up off the couch, put the Cheetos down, and go stand on the corner like an asshole and wait for me to walk by. So with that being said, this is really a hell of a predicament to be in if you've been watching this now, as in my case, rock solid. I've been paying attention for almost 12 years, and we know today is a special day. It is the anniversary of the formation of Israel when they officially came back into the land known as Israel today. And again, that can be disputed, I suppose, if we want to go dredge history up. But May 14th, 1948. Now, also, you have, I guess, a small group, a large group, I don't know, that want to claim that this date is not the start of the fig tree generation. Now, certainly, there can be some type of open window there because it wasn't really until 1949 that they got a handle on things after the Arab-Israeli War, and then they were officially up and running. But what I want to try to pin down today is where are we going prophetically? And what's interesting when you look around the world as far as the people that are in charge, the controllers, do they even consider biblical prophecy? I always ask myself, why don't we see more Europeans, specifically maybe Frenchmen, Germans? You do see a lot of British people dig into prophecy, but it just seems overall they're not present on social media. I don't really watch TikTok because what happens there, it sucks up all my space on my phone, and then I've got nothing. So I find that fascinating that, if you did a Zogby poll, a Reuters poll, AP poll, Fox News poll, predominantly it seems that Americans lead the charge in trying or showing interest in prophecy for one, but leading the charge in trying to figure it out and explain it. Now, at this point, YouTube is really, they're I guess, withering on the vine. Not much new to offer. A lot gets recycled now. And that's why I've kind of shied away because, hey, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. I could study all day long and it wouldn't matter because, who's watching me at this point? And the ones that are, God bless you. Thank you for any support that was ever given to me over this past decade on YouTube. So we know the Psalm 90 has taken effect, and we have 2 years left. If all these dates are true, these benchmarks, we can say that, hey, Psalm 90 is wrapping up. And that in itself is scary, because once we hit that 80th year, uh, I guess it would be the end of the 80th year, the fireworks have to start. Some type of very strange, bizarre event will occur, and that will indicate to the people that had been sitting on the bench sitters, the naysayers, that, you know, hey, there's something to this. So, today, who knows what's going on in Israel other than they're planning, plotting, scheming. And, the real question becomes, is this group of people that occupy Israel, are they considered the Gentiles? And where are the 144,000? That's really the $64,000 question. I mean, we would love to also see Moses and Elijah kind of start their ministry, and that would be definitely another benchmark where we could start a stopwatch and, you know, take it to 3.5 years later, and we know something's going to happen then. So we have to be somewhere in this timeline that we have to see prophetic movement. Or, I hate to say it, it starts to look like, when will we see another situation, another setup to where all these cards are in place, where, obviously Trump is in the forefront of this. You see his bizarre behavior, the language he uses, the way he speaks now, totally different from his first term. And bear in mind, most of us a long time ago told you that this guy is so dirty, he's only a lackey for these sad sack Satanists. And his big thing is to keep this backwards ass Babylonian satanic usury system of servitude moving forward and convincing everybody, hey, this is the way it is, and don't consider that you've got something better waiting for you over the horizon. So all these chess pieces are right in place. We know that the Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 4, where Gaza shall be forsaken, is clearly, that seems to be the case now since Iran's in the forefront. Gaza kind of took a back seat, but they're totally devastated, destroyed. The children over there have to be suffering horribly. And now, Lebanon's next. When will you see, as the cup of trembling, Jerusalem will be that cup of trembling, and all of a sudden, everybody just says, enough of this, and they all turn on Israel at once and act upon this aggressive behavior that's been occurring now for the past couple of years. And so Psalm 90. So, okay, the 78th year. Where does that lead us? So, okay, our next step is we're still waiting for this, let no man deceive you by any means, and that day will not come until the falling away comes first. What is exactly the falling away? Well, here's what I think it is when the mark of the beast is implemented, you're gonna see that falling away, because there's gonna be people that don't get that. They're gonna still want to eat, shop, do all these things, and wait till the gas dries up. That's gonna be a really big indicator. But the falling away, you, if you went and you told somebody, hey, you know what, that come next week, unless you take this mark, this chip, it's lights out for you. What would they do? Would they just laugh at you and say, oh, yeah, right? People don't think this is possible. Well, what is the artificial intelligence about? So we've got that, the son of perdition, and then it's when they say peace and safety. This is right where we are right now. And why is does Trump is his advisors, his spiritual advisors, whatever you call them, are they saying, hey, look, buddy, you know what? We're at risk that once you put this peace plan into play and you're huffing and puffing about how great you are, and the Middle East now is simmered down, is that when Christ will act, and this pending rapture, the rescue of the believers in Christ, his message, and walking, the people been walking in faith. But what you see though too is this is mysterious to me on social media. Everybody that dives into this, they're looking like they are fully immersed in this satanic usury system of servitude. They're ensconced in this satanic sphere of influence. They're doing well. They're nice clothes. They've got bank accounts, homes, privacy to do their videos, expensive audio and recording equipment, and all of them all hang out together. God forbid you throw an oddball in one of these truthers, uh, these conferences they have, these seminars, these webinars. It's always the same people. They're all hang together, and again, they're all doing well, right? They can move about freely. They're not being stalked and harassed. Can you imagine now, 10 years later, these creeps, these American, Nazi, British, European, Freemason, Satanist scum that fucked with me as a kid, put implants in me, tracking implants in my teeth that vibrate, they're still doing the same thing. And what's even more mysterious is I could go anywhere and they'd have to start this same shit up. And you could probably tell, doesn't matter where you go, they can tell these people anything, and you dangle $1 in front of their face, right? I've got people, I'm surrounded by snitches. Most of them were sitting in squalor with nothing. And once they got involved with me, some of them, it took them a while to figure out how to do this, these handlers who I can never get to. They do, the depends who they talk to on what type of lies, slander, defamation of character they use. But a lot of them had nothing. Now they're driving cars, their houses are remodeled, new clothes hanging on the laundry. And the worst part is, a lot of them, they're all weaselly cowards. They've been hiding under their beds from the real criminals. Windows always closed, curtains drawn, but now, hey, they'll peek out the window to spot me, but they won't come out of their house. What they do is they whore out their children. And this is the most disgusting thing. It's tantamount to child endangerment. These people need to be locked up that put their kids out on the street. And what if the Mr. Mafia came by? What would happen then? All their cameras that they were given, and if the real crime, the real criminals are right there, hey, their cameras won't work. Or, hey, we weren't paying attention. We didn't get the call. Because if you ask them, hey, how many times a week do you receive a call concerning the cartel or a criminal in the community? They couldn't tell you because it doesn't happen. It never has happened in this location. So I can get off on a tangent, ranting and raving, but I'm trying to sum up what I believe is happening. What is happening is this trip to China is just more delays. Trump is shitting his pants because he knows he's in deep doo-doo. His future's already been mapped out. He's going to be joining his buddies, Uncle Carl, Bush, Kissinger, Rockefeller, the whole bunch, folks. So the rapture. I myself, it sounds great to me. I would love it, but I don't see it happening. But what I do see it happening is I know I'm part of this remnant. And I know that the day is going to come when things shut down again, stores are closed, no more gas, all that good stuff. I'll still be walking around. And these people that chose to be stalkers, snitches, low life creep, stoolies, little rats, they're going to be sucking their thumbs crying for their mommies. So we are right now in the prophetic, meaty part of the curve. And man, I could try to do a Bible study, but again, it takes a lot of work. I'm sitting here in my little hovel, and I woke up and I said, man, I'm just going to, like I do, right? Off the top of my head. All right. I've got the things lined up. They're semi in order. And the thing with me is now it's this mark of the beast on that window's closing to where they have to do something. Because look at this San Diego, when I was there last week for my son, I'm looking at the Exxon, the Mobil. Gas is $6, $7, and it's probably more up in Northern California. Man, this cannot continue. Because where is the outcry? And what's crazy is you see Trump again, what these Satanists do, they exploit people, their poverty, their oppression, and just use them to do their dirty work. And when they're done, they kick them to the curb because they're of no more use. If I pack up today and leave here, there's no more Community Watch Snitch Network. Nothing, nada, zip. These people will go back to sitting in squalor like they were before they got involved with me. And I it just breaks my heart because see again, there's only one side of the story. If I'm such this bad guy, right? But I can never tell my side of the story. That's what's the amazing part. What they do here now is that they're trying to organize these countries that have been left behind and they whether or not they're actually trying to do this, they're, oh, well, we got justice in these peace venues where they can go and the community, if they have problems with each other, they can now go and vent whatever their issue is and try to get it solved. When before it still is. It's the law of the jungle. All right. And see, when you have a location anywhere in the world where it lives and dies by violence, murder, um, outright, they scam each other, lie to each other, and then still walk around like, hey, this is just the way it is. It's what we got to do. So we have a situation in the world where, again, if you did a Zogby poll, right, you did some kind of poll about how many people truly believe in the message of Christ, the gospel of Christ, and how many people even dare go against the satanic global power structure, the military industrial satanic complex. This is how I wrap it up. In America, men and women back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s gave their lives to try to expose these creeps. And what they do, their MO is, what they do is they lie, slander, defame, outright murder. And look, these scientists that are all of a sudden missing, Wilcock, all of them, they played their part. They were all ensconced in this backwards ass Babylonian satanic usury system of servitude and doing very well. I'll repeat, houses, cars, money in the bank, ability to do these videos, to parakeet their message that, oh, okay, yeah, these bad guys, this is what they're up to, and this is you need to get involved, but they're all going the way of the dodo bird. That, Wilcock, right? That don't feel sorry for this guy. All right, this guy, all right, he's gone. And when people say, "Oh, well, they faked their death somehow," and now he's sitting somewhere, like he was so important that he can do that. And now he's sitting somewhere where the rest of us are suffering, dealing with this bullshit, along with the others. Dizdar, Gerald Clark was one of them. Jim Mars, and they're older, those types. But again, a series of attrition. And when they're done with these people, they let them run their yaps. And then maybe if I don't know, can you take millions of dollars and then all of a sudden say, turn on your pit bull masters and be like, okay, no, you can't do that. They will crush you. So YouTube, you're so corrupt. I watched one of my videos last week that here's what happens with the counter when it shows views, it kept getting stuck on the same number. And I thought that was interesting. And, you know, wow, what a crazy world, And here I am. I'm almost 60 years old, just still walking around hobbled broke, one day at a time, hand to mouth. And I'm at the end of my line. I could use medical help, but I pray to God that He keeps me going. But yet, they have to follow me around. Now, let's real quick this custodian file. This guy's picking up hundreds of subscribers a day sometimes. When he was locked in back October, November, when I saw he was at barely 12,000, now he's almost up to 34,000 subscribers. What happened to Plant Abundance? And there's more people. I just don't know who they are because I don't really watch YouTube anymore. I can't do it. And plus, I don't have solid internet. So, custodian file pretending to be me. But I did notice there are people that have these UAPs in their videos, and they seem legit, but again, they're all a lot of dying their way through this. They're not on the receiving end of this very, uh, well, just the behavior that comes out of these creepy chameleon, dirty dog Draco, reptoid Hollywood hybrid hacks is disgusting. And they think they're going to get out of this. They're not. Keep your eyes to the sky because he's coming through those clouds, not those chemtrails.